Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. So today is the last day to talk about aid in attendance, the different types of aid in attendance, and we have reached the last one, which is the caregiver program. So let's go ahead and get started. But before I do, real quick, I am expecting a phone call. So if I happen to get a phone call, I'm going to briefly interrupt this because of the phone call I got. I got to take it, and then I'll come back and complete it. And then any questions you may have, I'll try to answer. But let's go ahead and get started with this. And we're going to start with the first page of the caregiver program. What's up, Todd? How you doing? What's going on, Barry? How you doing today? So let's start with the very first page when it talks about eligibility, care qualifying, right? So this is the first page when it comes to the caregiver program. And this is the third one that I'm referring to, talking about aid in attendance. Okay, so all eras are eligible now. This includes all eras. Doesn't matter what era you were in, all eras are eligible. And this talks about basic qualifications. So, in a nutshell, they need to be at least 18, be spouse, son, daughter, parent, step family, or extended family members. And it's for people who live with the veteran full time or intend to live with the veteran full time. All right. Basic things here: 70% or higher. Minimum, you need to be 70% to apply for the caregiver program or higher. Okay. Discharge medically and or need at least 6 months of continuous care prior to you applying. So you see this today, you apply today, you're not going to qualify. You're going to need to have had a caregiver at least 6 months prior to you applying. All right. Couple other things. They're going to do a phone interview and they're going to do an in-person interview with your caregiver. Don't think, okay, I'm good. We're just going to apply. They're just going to give us money and they're going to be gone. That's not how this works. I don't want people to get delusioned about how this works. There's going to be a lot of in-person visits. There's going to be a lot of phone calls made. There's going to be a lot of checking up to see how you're doing. There's going to be a lot of support that is offered to your caregiver. It is recommended that you have more than one caregiver so you can give your primary caregiver a break when they need a break. All right. So there's a lot in this, and it talks about the type of need that the person is expected to get. So the best way I can explain the caregiver program is don't look at your caregiver as a companion. Look at your caregiver as more of a medical aid. That's the best way I can describe it. Medical aid. So basic cooking, cleaning, washing your clothes, that type of thing, yeah, that's not going to get it. But if she has to help you or he has to help you in the bathroom, has to help you in the shower, has to physically help you get dressed or physically feed you, that's more of what this is. Okay. So this just goes over what I just said before, that you can have up to two more secondary family caregivers. Okay. And then it talks about the training, lodging, mental health counseling that your caregiver may need, the stipend, and we're going to go over the stipend a little bit, and then healthcare. Here's one of the reasons why I also think it's not going to be overseas, and I'll get into that a little bit more, is because if your caregiver, let's say you're married like I am, you're in a situation, you're coming from overseas and you're going back to the States. Obviously, your spouse doesn't have health insurance. So because they don't have health insurance, they'll qualify immediately for CHAMP VA. Okay. And then I'll do a different video talking about the qualifications for CHAMP VA. But this is another reason why. And I've gone over this a little bit where veterans are barely covered overseas through FMP. They're not going to cover a spouse like that overseas, right? If you don't already have health insurance. So there's a lot that goes into it, but just so we get this clear, and for those of you who are questioning it, I want to show you a phone number you can call immediately right now and talk to them, which is right here, 855-260-3274. This is the caregiver support line. All right. Obviously, it's +1 855 260 3274. They will inform you that you have to be in the US or US territory to apply for this benefit. If you are outside the US and US territory, you will not be able to apply. Okay. Here are the hours they're open: Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. On Saturdays, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Once again, the number is +1 855 260 3274. All right. This is basic eligibility. The biggest thing here, 70% or higher. Caregiver needs to be at least 18 years of old or older. And you need to have had care at least 6 months prior to you applying. All right. You don't have at least 6 months. Don't go up there making up a lie, because I can tell you, don't go making up a lie, man. Because if you go there and you say, yeah, my wife been taking care of me a year, and they say, okay, when you come in, we're gonna have this interview. One of the first things they're gonna ask you, okay, since you've been taking care of him, give us some examples of things that you do. They may say, okay, go ahead and put his braces on, or take his brace off and go ahead and put it back on. And if she ain't never done that, come on now. They know. So there's no point of lying. All right. No, don't lie. People do it all the time, and this is why they set people up. And once you lose credibility, bro, that's pretty much it. Now, for those of you who want to learn more about the program and you're currently in the States, they have this particular website that you can go to. Ooh, it's not this one. Sorry, gave you the wrong one. They have a support website that you go to that basically breaks down everything. Okay, is this one. Okay, this website, or this is their website that they recommend everyone go to. Families Caregiver Support Program. If you go to support program, which will take you to this page. This is the one that basically goes over all of it, everything here. And you can change the language to Spanish if you're a Spanish speaker only, or you prefer to read it in Spanish. But this goes over everything about the program. Okay, the do's, the don'ts, what is expected, the pay, because there's 2 levels of pay, eligibility, and they also have a questionnaire, or like a what do you call it? Like a little test that they give. And if you pass that little test, then yeah, you should go ahead and apply. If you don't pass that test, then you probably don't qualify for this program. Okay. All of that is on that page. Once again, here's that number I gave out earlier. All right. And then all the different resources and different things that are offered as well. Okay. Because your caregiver mentally was probably going to get tired of taking care of you all the time, right? So they offer breaks to the caregiver. They offer counseling, mental health counseling to the caregiver, as well as the healthcare I mentioned earlier with Champ VA. There are so many different programs and support groups and support networks that are offered to your caregiver, which is why I also think this is why they don't allow it overseas. All right. But this page right here is a very important page for anyone who is thinking about signing up for the caregiver program. Everything you want to question, that you have a question about, everything else that you need to know about this program is on this page. And if you can't find the answer there, once again, you can go down to this number right here, and they're already set up to answer all of your questions, whatever they may be. All right. And then the last one I want to show you guys, let's see. I was just going to look into Champ VA today. Okay. And then the last one I want to show you guys is the stipend. Now, this is a little formula that the VA has that they set up, right, for as how you're going to get paid as the caregiver. And once again, that money goes to the caregiver. It does not go to the veteran. This is the only one that goes to the caregiver. The other 2 go to the veteran. This one goes to the caregiver. All right. If you go to this page, which is the monthly stipend fact sheet, that's what it's called, and you find it on the page that I just came from. All right. It goes over eligibility, qualifications, then it comes down here to monthly stipend. And there's two levels of pay. You have level 1 and you have level 2. Now, these levels are based upon the amount of time, the amount of care the veteran actually needs. Not every veteran needs 24 hours a day, 7 days a week care. Sometimes veterans may only need you to be there for half a day for maybe 4 or 5 days out of the week. So they have a formula here, and you guys can read over the formula of how that actually works and how they come up with the calculation to pay the caregiver. All right. So it all depends on how much care the veteran actually needs. All right. And that's once again on this page for fact sheets, monthly stipend fact sheet. All right. But that's pretty much the caregiver program, guys, in a nutshell. There's not a whole lot to go over. The qualifications are very similar to the other two programs. But the biggest difference here, though, is minimum 70% or higher. Caregiver needs to be 18 years or older, in the family or an extended family member, someone who's going to live with you full time. That's another one. All right. Full time. Now, I had the opportunity to call them this morning and talk to them and find out a few things. So obviously, I asked them, how long can I stay in the U.S.? Like if my spouse is from here in Colombia and I want to come back, Jesus Christ, and I want to come back to Colombia to visit, how long can I stay? The answer that I got was, you need to be in the U.S. full time, okay? Meaning every day, but they will give you vacation time. So you have to tell your support team what your vacation is. More than likely, they don't expect you to be, according to this person I spoke to today, no more than 30 days outside the country. That's it, in a calendar year. So if you're thinking, okay, I'm going to move back to the States, I'm going to stay in the States 6 months, I'm going to go somewhere else for 6 months. No, that ain't going to fly. Or I'm going to stay there 9 months and go somewhere else for 3 months. That ain't going to fly. All right. Just explaining to you what was explained to me when I called them earlier today. All right. What's up, Mr. B? Now, are there any questions when it comes to this last group of the series of 3 I've done for aid and attendance and the caregiver program? What's up, Comeback Survivor? Okay. But this is the last one. This is the caregiver program. And hopefully I explained it well enough for you guys today to know that this is another resource you can use in the U.S. Pay ranges. Depends on how much care you need in your daily life. That determines how much you will get or your caregiver will get for the stipend. All right. Now, I want to answer a question that was left behind. I actually talked to Mike about this because I did not know. Right. So I had to do some research online. I had to make a phone call this morning to find out about this. And this is about Chapter 35 benefits when you're abroad and you have either a spouse or you have a child. Right. So, for example, let's say you're living abroad and your child is graduating school. Right. And then your child wants to continue their education by going to college, but they want to go to college in whatever country they're currently in. Can you use Chapter 35 benefits for your child in that country? Yes, you can. Okay. Now, when it comes to the overseas spouse, can your overseas spouse use Chapter 35 benefits in that country? I'm waiting on the answer on that one because nobody knew. When I called and asked them about that, they were like, the child, that ain't no problem. I said, what about a foreign spouse? That one I can't answer. I got to get an answer for you and call you back. So on that one, I do not know yet. When it comes to your overseas spouse and they qualify based upon your benefits, because I believe you only have to be, I should pull it up. I believe you only have to be permanent in total for 6 years in order for her to qualify for that benefit, if I'm not mistaken. I got to pull it up. But bottom line is you can use Chapter 35 benefits overseas. That is not an issue at all. Trying to see what other questions that I had. Camp, you're going to have to be a little bit more specific in your situation. I don't know if you're talking about the GI Bill or you're talking about Chapter 35. So you got to be a little bit more specific. What's up, man? How you doing today? Any other questions you guys have regarding the caregiver program? Well, we got everything on the screen right now. I can try to find the answer for. Let's see if this will come up. Don't know why it came up on this tab. So it's under, what is this under? Copy this. Come back over here. I need to paste it here. So I can show you guys. Okay. So let me show you guys this real quick when it comes to Chapter 35, students being abroad. So this is the page right here you want to go to. Information for students wishing to attend foreign schools. So this is about all the different ones, Chapter 33, 30, 1606, 32, 35. Okay, that's the one someone wanted to know about. But none of these on the VA's website give specific examples or speaks about foreign spouses. So in those instances, you normally always have to call to find out, hey, I got a foreign spouse. Can they use my Chapter 35? So I'm waiting to get an answer back on that one because they did not know. But as far as your child, okay, it's no problem. They can use it as long as you're eligible for it. They can use it. United States. I forgot how long. It's something like 6 years, I believe. You have to have. It's on this page. I know I read it on this page, but this is the page you have to go to. Like I said, guys, I'm expecting a phone call, so I apologize if I get a phone call. I have to jump off quickly. But I wanted to show you guys what that page actually looks like. Mr. Smith, how you doing today? What's going on? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. To Chapter 35? I'm assuming that's what you're saying. Yes, sir, too. But yeah, that's what you have to do for Chapter 35 and for the caregiver program. So is there an age? Is there a waiver of age to qualify? To qualify for what? For which one? Caregiver program? Or are we talking about Chapter 35, Mr. B? When you say age waiver, waiting on him to respond to that. Are there any other questions you guys have? We went over quite a bit yesterday, and we kind of veered off in all kind of directions. Now, when you say age waiver, I'm not exactly sure what you mean because you're saying Chapter 35. I'll pull that back up. Age waiver to do what? You mean for your child? Because you're talking about a child that's 18 to 23, right? So let's see. You go through the instructions, the foreign school. Approval procedure. Puerto Rico, yada, 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 yada. I don't see anything in here about an age other than the child being over 18, between 18 and 23. It's the only thing I see in here. So I don't know if you're talking about the spouse or the child, but if you're talking about the child, they're gonna have to be between 18 and 23. The spouse, yeah, that don't matter. Let's see. Yep, my daughter just started using mine. She's going to school online while she is here with us in Mexico. Okay, well there you go. There you go. Proof right there. Because I know I read it online, especially when it comes to a child. Now, if the spouse is from the States, I'm pretty sure that's not going to be an issue either. But if they're from overseas, if there's an overseas spouse, I'm waiting to get the answer on that one because that I don't know. Child. Okay. Yeah. So we got that answer already. I have a question. If you're Chapter 35 and receive a benefit, do they deduct the benefit from what I receive on a monthly basis? You mean from your VA compensation? No. You mean do they deduct like they're taking out money because your child is receiving VA benefit? No, 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 no. No, they don't do that. Okay, Fran asked. Oh no, it's all good, Mr. B. Attention on deck. At these good folks, if you have only 170% rating, you can have a caregiver. Yeah, like I said, you just need a minimum of 70%. Doesn't matter if it's one rating, combined ratings, it's individual or combined ratings. I'll show you right here. That doesn't matter, but you need to be a minimum of 70%, period. Let me pull that back up. When it comes to basic eligibility, yeah, you just need to be a minimum of 70%. And it says it right here, individual or combined of 70% or higher. Yeah, so it doesn't matter if you 70% for PTSD and you require a caregiver, as long as you 70% at a minimum, you'll be able to qualify. That doesn't automatically mean you're going to get it, but you can qualify. Yeah, there's no deductions. There's no money coming out of your VA compensation for it. No. Yep, they get a separate stipend. It's the same thing. If the spouse ends up using your Chapter 35, they're not charging you. You don't pay for that. That's a benefit you earn. You're not paying anything out of pocket for your spouse going to school. They go for 36 months now. It used to be 45. They changed that. I believe it was in 2018 that they changed it for DIC in education. It used to be 45 months, but in 2018, they changed it to 3 years. But they don't charge you anything. There's no deductible. There's no fee. There's no charge. There's no nothing. No. They're not hitting you with anything. Are there any other questions at this point regarding either the caregiver program or now we're on Chapter 35? So are there any other questions? So yeah, just to be clear, individual or combined on 70% doesn't matter as long as you 70% minimum for the caregiver program. 18 and over, someone either an immediate family or an extended family member that's living with you or you living with them full time, or they intend to live with you full time. All right. And that's for the caregiver program. And the money for the caregiver program goes to the caregiver, does not go to the veteran. All right. So for people like myself who are already receiving SMC for aid in attendance, I've never heard of someone who's already getting aid in attendance being denied on the program. Haven't heard that yet. Now, there are plenty of people who apply who get denied for various reasons. And if you call that number that I gave you earlier, and they're going to ask you a series of questions, because they asked me a series of questions right out the gate. Okay, what does your caregiver do for you? Because if you say stuff like, well, I need someone to wash my clothes or someone to cook my meals or someone to put out my medication, they're going to tell you right then and there, you don't qualify for the program. I'm just being honest. You need to look at it as a medical assistant that you have. not someone who's just doing stuff for you around the house like a maid. No. Good evening, Mr. Collins. How you doing today? All right, so this looks like this is going to be a short one today. So, are there any other questions with either one of these topics, man? With chapter 35 or with, because we got all of it open right now, so we can go ahead and find whatever it is you guys have a question about on either the caregiver program or chapter 35 while I have all these open. Let's see. On the caregiver, do you have to meet all of the basic daily? No. Mm-mm. Because like one of the basic ones is like they're feeding you, like physically putting food in your mouth. I don't have that. Another one that was on there, what was it? That I don't like when it comes to being dressed. Like Erica puts on my prosthetics, my AFO, my knee braces, and then when I need my back brace, she'll put that on. But no, not every single thing, because some things they're not listed on there, right? For example, if you just need somebody with you for safety, what do you mean by somebody with you for safety? I'm what they call someone. I'm in that category when I need someone with me for safety because my leg goes numb, right? I fall. So if I fall and say I hit myself in the head and knock myself out and nobody's around, that's a safety issue. That's a safety hazard. There are some people who are not allowed to cook anymore because they may have problems with their equilibrium where they lose their balance. Say you up cooking and all of a sudden you get dizzy and you fall and you turn the whole skillet or whatever you cooking onto you. That's a safety hazard. They won't allow you to do that anymore. So it really depends because they'll just use examples, but that doesn't mean that's the exact thing that you have to be. There's different ways to qualify based upon what your disabilities are. So it's not just cooking, cleaning. Those are just what they use for examples. But there are other examples. If you go to the bathroom and you can't get off the toilet on your own, is another one, right? You can't get out the bed on your own. That's another one. If someone has to, I don't know, just trying to think of some other things that may be a situation in that, you know, you can kind of get where I'm going with this, but that doesn't have to just be cooking, cleaning. Feeding, dressing. There's a variety of things out there that qualify people for the caregiver program or just needing someone in general. I am breathing. But yeah, it's way more than that, man. And I'll pull it back up for you to see that it's not just that. I mean, like I said, it could just be someone who's a danger to themselves, or like people who suffer from TBI, who are not really cognizant of everything around them. There are so many different things that fall into that category. Yeah, I'll pull that back up. It's right here. So let me pull that back up. So right here, health and well-being. So this is what people normally say, and this is the example they normally give: feeding, bathing, dressing. But safety, protections, or instructions in their daily living environment. And that's more so people who, they suffering mentally. They may not be able to clearly understand things, and the caregiver's got to guide them in different directions. But health and well-being overall, see, I fall into that category because of my service-connected disabilities. I'm a health hazard. I'm a hazard. I'm a fall hazard. Some of you guys are fall hazard as well. I fall into that category. Let's see. Yeah, forget to turn off a stove. That's another one. I appreciate that, Mr. B. That's another one that would put you in that safety category. You someone who easily forgets things. You ironing clothes, you get a phone call. You sat down and completely forgot about it and fell asleep. Meanwhile, the iron's back there just going. right? Situations like that, man. It's not just the basic things that you hear all the time. What's up, family man? How you doing today? What's up, J Love? Buenas tardes. Buenas tardes, hermano. I have some of those issues and they denied me. Okay. Um, you said some of those issues because it's going to boil down to okay, since you went through the process, Mr. Smith, if you can give some insight on what happened in your situation, because it's not an automatic thing, right? Like, I don't know if you're already in, say, like you're receiving aid and attendance already, or this is something that you're applying for the first time. And, how long have you had your caregiver? Because they look at that as well. The issues that you have, is that something that you can do and you choose not to do? Or is this something that you've had for a long period of time? There are so many different factors that go into it instead of just, I applied, I have some of those things, but I've only had a caregiver for 4 months. They're not going to prove that. Or I've had a caregiver for a week. Yeah, they're not going to prove that. One of the things you got to have is a caregiver for at least 6 months prior to applying. And then when they call you in or they have the telephone interview, they're going to want to speak to you and they're going to want to speak to your caregiver. And they're going to ask your caregiver a series of questions, right? Because if your caregiver's been taking care of you, your caregiver knows what medications you're taking, your prosthetic devices, what's your sleep schedule, what's your wake schedule, what all do you have to do? If they sitting there stuttering and they can't think of what they do for you on a daily basis, they already know. They probably lying at that point. Not saying that happened in your case, but it's like little things, man. When you have somebody who actually helps you, they know automatically what they're doing for you. They don't have to sit there and think about it, right? If they ask for the medication, when somebody's helping you with your medication, they can rattle off what you take. Oh yeah, he takes this, and this. He takes this at this time. He takes this at this time, or she takes this and that. They just know. Can dry be one of those categories for the caregiver program? Yes, but it depends. Like, I don't want to tell you wrong. Because if it's only for driving, I want to be sure I tell you this clearly. Because just say your only issue is you can't drive anymore. The VA will pick you up and take you to appointments. If you need something delivered, if you want something delivered, you can just call the delivery service to bring you stuff. So if that is your only thing, like you can do everything else on your own. You can dress yourself, bathe yourself, you can do everything except you can't drive a car. I highly doubt that, because the VA contract services all the time to go pick up veterans regardless of where they are and take them to their appointment. If it's a situation where you're like, well, I can't go grocery shopping anymore, they got delivery services from Walmart and everywhere else to bring you whatever it is you need. Or I can't shop for clothes anymore, you can go to Amazon and order anything, or Walmart or wherever, and they'll bring it to you. So I wouldn't necessarily say that alone would help you get you into the caregiver program. It would probably need to be a lot more than just driving someone somewhere. Trump going to need a caregiver after this week is over. Did they arrest him? Did he get arrested? I haven't been keeping track with it. I meant to say my wife. Where? Right here? And they denied your wife. Okay. Like I said, bro, I don't really know, because obviously I'm not giving the interview, but for anyone who's curious and thinking about signing up for the caregiver program, I showed this earlier. I'm going to show it again. This site you can go to. They have a website you can go to where you can take this little test to see if you even qualify for the program. Because sometimes what happens is people will fill out the application when they don't even qualify for the program. But go to this website here. Oh, I'm sorry. This is for the foreign schools. Let me take that off. This is the one I'm looking for. Sorry, my apologies. I put up the wrong one. No, this one. Okay. Here's where you need to go. VA Caregiver Support Program. This has pretty much everything you have a question about here. Okay. There's a website you can go to that they offer where you can take a test. You answer the questions on that test or call the number that I gave out earlier. This number +1 855 260 3274. Call that number. Okay. There's always someone there to answer when you call this number. Talk to them over the phone. They're going to ask you a series of questions. If you say, I just need somebody to clean, I just need somebody to drive me to the store and back, see what they tell you. Because more than likely, they're going to tell you you don't qualify. You got to look at the caregiver program, I said again, as a medical assistant in your daily life, not as a companion, not as someone who's just cooking and cleaning. They need to be someone to medically help you. In other words, if you were in a nursing home, or I shouldn't say nursing home, just say you're at your own home, Social Security offers a service where they'll have somebody come by and just cook, clean, and sit there with you and keep you company. If that's what you're looking for, that's a companion service. That's not a caregiver. A caregiver is someone who starts when you in the bed normally, I'm not saying always, normally, you in the bed, they help you get up, they take you to the bathroom. If you got to do number 2, they going to clean you in some cases. When you go into the shower, they're going to put you in your shower sheet if you have one, or in your tub or whatever you got, and help give you a bath. When you get out, they're going to help dry you. They're going to help with your grooming, whether it's comb your hair, brush your teeth, that type of thing. That's a medical caregiver. That's what they're looking for. All the other stuff, putting your clothes in the washing machine, cooking your food, laying out your medication, putting it in the pill bottle, just driving you here or driving you there. No, that's a companion. That's somebody to help you. That's totally different. Does your caregiver in Colombia speak in under? Hell no, Erica knows. Erica speaks. The only English Erica knows is hello, goodbye, no, which is universal. Have a great day. That's it. She doesn't know. Anything else? No. What's up, Mr. Miles? How you doing? No, they ain't arrested me yet. Oh, they haven't arrested him yet. If they do, then the world is truly different. Yeah, they if they do arrest him, he's not gonna do anything but take a snapshot and he going right back out the door. They ain't gonna never see a cell. Talking to each other. Not yet. Jury took day off. We'll be back tomorrow. Okay. Okay, you guys talking to each other. But hopefully that guys help you out. You got to look at a caregiver as a medical assistant, because the VA offers the same thing to veterans, right? Like a companion, or you just need somebody to help you around the house. They offer that same service. The VA does. You just got to talk to your doctor and let your doctor know you need it, and if it's available, right? Because they may not have any workers available in the particular area that you're in, but VA and Social Security offer the same thing. I'm sure you guys know someone or have heard of someone who gets that kind of service, where either they're coming from Social Security or they're coming from the Department of Veterans Affairs. There's this lady that comes. Usually it's a lady. Sometimes it's a man. They'll come to your house. They'll clean your house. They'll wash your clothes. They'll groom you. They'll sit there and talk to you for an hour. They may spend 5-6 hours with the veteran, and then they'll leave. And then they'll come back Monday through Friday. They normally don't come on the weekend, but Monday through Friday, they're there. They'll cook for them and everything. Some even go get their groceries for them. They'll give them a list. They'll go get their food for them. That's something that both services offer. If you own either one, or if you own both, they offer that service. All you have to do is ask for it. And if it's available in your area, you'll get it. Now, overseas, no. No. And I read that yesterday off the Foreign Medical Program. They're not doing any of that. They're not paying for what is it? A clinic, or not a clinic, daycare, nursing home. Couldn't think of the name of it. They're not paying for nursing home. They're not paying for companion care. They're not paying for a support animal. They're not doing none of that when you live abroad. None of it. But if you're in U.S. territory or you're in the United States, you can get that service. Okay? So just to be clear with the caregiver program, since we're on this, if you're in U.S. territory, Puerto Rico, Virgin Islands, Guam, Northern Marianian Islands, okay? Yes, you can sign up for the caregiver program. Outside of that, no, you cannot. They will not even accept the application because you don't even have a spot to even put your address in there unless you're lying and telling them you're in the States. But if you're getting ready to move back to the States and you know where you're moving back to the States, then yeah, I would go ahead and apply if you know you're going back to the States. But if you're not planning on going back to the States anytime soon, then yeah, you're not going to be able to get it. Let's see. They told me they stopped giving rides in my area. Really? Really? You might want to reach out to community care and see what they tell you. That 800 number, do you know that little white card they give you? I don't know what color the card is now, but there's an 800 number on the back of their community care card. You may want to call that number and see what they say. If the hospital doesn't want to provide rides, call that community care number. I don't know if I can find it on here. Because community care, they have, let's see, VA community care phone number. Yeah, that should be, here it is right here, a different number for community care. If they tell you they don't offer rides, bro, I would straight up call this number right here for community care. 877-881-7618. If the hospital or the clinic don't want to provide rides for you, that's what this is for, community care. And whatever community that you're in, they should be able to provide transportation for you to get to your appointment. So I don't know what that's about, telling you that they don't provide rides. Yeah, I don't know what that is. What's up, Mr. Brown? Let's see. Sadly, my friend receives a caregiver because he has to have both of his legs amputated. Wow. He's only 36. Wow, man. Sorry to hear that, bro. Hearing and understanding the VA is getting away from vets in nursing homes because it costs a lot for the VA to pay and for many vets being abused. Yeah, that's why they're focusing more, Mr. Wayne, on the caregiver program. They rather have your own family take care of you. They rather pay the family member. Normally it's a spouse or a significant other in this case. They rather have them because you're going to be with them anyway. So we'll just pay you to be with them, take care of them. We'll offer you support. We'll offer you insurance. We'll offer you a break when you need it for like 30 days to get away and clear your head and come back. But yeah, that's why they're doing it. That's exactly why they're doing it. Hey, T-Mix, how you doing? I don't know if you MR. What? You have to be a little bit more clear, Mr. Allen. So are there any other questions, man, when it comes to, and Mr. Wayne is 1,000% correct. All of these, this is like a beta test, to be quite honest with you guys, because they want to get away from paying nursing homes. There's a few nursing homes at VA facilities around the country, and as most of you guys know, they're starting to close a lot of these different facilities, and they want to reopen up new ones in different parts of the country. And that caused an uproar for a lot of people because where they may be moving the new facility may not even be close to where the old facility was in some cases, not in all. But they definitely want to get away from nursing home care and paying from that and dealing with all that and just let you be in your own home or your kid's home or whoever's home and let a family member take care of you. Basically, this is the same as home care aid pay for about it. Yes, that's exactly what it is. Exactly what it is. Yep. They have an aide that come, and then there's some veterans out there who actually have it's not a nurse. What's the one just under a nurse? I can't think of the name. Whatever the one is just under a nurse. They have them come out sometimes to give them injections or to do a series of tests or whatever it may be. And then in some cases, they actually have the nurse come out to do certain things. So there's a variety of things that are going on. So if you're in the States right now and you need help, okay, regardless of what kind of help it may be, these are all different types of programs you guys should look into. If you're in a rural area, I would start with community care. If you're in a rural area and you need help or you need someone to help you just clean and cook around the house, this is stuff you should tell your doctor, right? Because if you're paying for a service, you might be just wasting your money because this is something the VA does anyway. Or if you're on Social Security, this is something that they pay for anyway, right? You can have them come to your house and perform these things, and it's not costing you anything out of pocket if it's available. It's not always available, especially at the VA. They only have a certain number. And I think when they reach that limit, they'll tell you, okay, we'll put you on a waiting list or something like that. If I remember correctly, when I was in San Diego. But yeah, if you need help like that, man, again, I'm gonna put this community number up, especially for those of you in rural areas. You don't have a VA facility right there immediately where you are. Contact your community care. Let them know what you need help with. That's what these numbers are for. That's what these systems are designed for, is to help the veteran. Sometimes the clinic, they can't get you what you need. You call these numbers to get the help that you need. All right. So looks like that's going to be it for today. I am expecting this phone call to come in today. We got CNA. Okay. Yeah, look, I don't remember all these different names. There's a ton to try to remember with this stuff, but I know that people who need special injections, or they may need to change out something where a nurse or a nurse assistant needs to come do it. That's stuff that they also send people that they send to your home to help you with that. But again, guys, do not sit at home and suffer if you need help, especially if you're in the States or in U.S. territory. There should never be a reason that you're at home suffering when you have all these different avenues and numbers to call to get help. If you cannot get out and you need help going to your appointment and the clinic or the hospital don't want to help you, call community care. That's what it's there for. All right. It's just that simple. All right, guys, that's going to be it, man. Hey, I appreciate everybody watching as always. And until the next time, guys, I am out of here. Peace and enjoy the rest of your day.